Wow. Thank you so much, Meta Mike. I just saw your message now. I was on mute. Thank you, Mike. I owe you, man. I didn't see the comments because I was on a tear. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Mike. That's awesome. Great, great, great. Darian, thank you. Everybody. Oh my God. I'm telling you, without you guys, I would be lost. That's why I need you all here to keep me on point. So I just spoke for how long? Like 5 minutes, and nobody heard anything I said. All right, let me start over. But hello, Tina. Hello to everybody. I'm glad you're here, Mike. I'm glad you are here as well. Darian. So thank you guys for letting me know. And Tina, I see you were trying to tell me too. Oh my God, guys, I'm telling you, never a dull moment. So anyway, first, as my name is Kim Ann Curtin, the Wall Street Coach. Today is July 25th, 2024. And that's a wrap. No, I'm just kidding. All the good stuff was completely muted. No, I'm just kidding. You see, if we this is a choice, like what you're saying in real time with me, guys. Like I don't always succeed at this, but here is what hopefully I at least remembered right now is rule number 6. What is rule number 6? Does anybody know? If you guys remember, I'm sure I've talked about rule number 6 here before. So here's rule number 6. It's of course has to be told in a story. So this man is visiting a company. I'm so glad, and he is visiting the CEO, who is a woman, and they're talking about the business. This guy's thinking about buying the company, and he sees somebody burst into this, woman CEO office, and the person is all upset. The guy's tie is disheveled. His folders look like they're a mess. And he's yelling and he's upset. And she's like, John, remember rule number 6. And he returns to a state of calm. And this continues throughout the factory. They travel to different parts of the company, and at every place there's somebody who seems to be out of control. She will just say to them, please remember rule number 6, and they return to a state of calm. So at the end of the day, this visitor says to her, of all the things I've seen today, I have to ask you what this rule number 6 is, because that was amazing to watch all these people who are so frantic return to a state of calm. And she says, he's like, please tell me what rule number 6 is. And she says, don't take yourself so goddamn seriously. And then he's like, well, what are the other 5? And she's like, there aren't any. So hopefully I was able to just take rule number 6 to heart and not get upset that I talked for 5 minutes without anybody being able to hear me. But I want to extend that to all of you traders listening to me now. Do you take yourself sometimes too seriously? Do you take your trading too seriously? And I'm telling you not to take it serious to an extent. But when all of us take it and take ourselves too seriously, that's when we can get into trouble, because then we're not going to be as flexible. We're not going to be able to pivot. We're not going to be able to hopefully laugh at ourselves, even in public sometimes when we make a mistake, right? Fortunately for me, and the coach that I worked with 20 years ago taught me that I had a right to make mistakes, to be fallible, to fuck up, to get used to the fact that sometimes I'm going to start live and not freaking put the microphone on, right? And guess what, guys? You're going to do the same. So if we, instead of resisting and try to be so damn perfect all the time, say, I'm a fuck up and so are you, it just makes life a little softer to navigate. And just like Mike is saying here, you got to roll with the punches and life and the market. And that is the key. So ask yourself, really, and this is a great question not just for brand new traders who are coming into this for the first time as trading career, part-time or full-time, but also a sophisticated trader. I think it could happen to sophisticated traders too. I think the sophisticated traders can go for a long spell forgetting this because they're on a roll, right? You're doing well. There's a period of time, the market's reflecting certain things to you. And you got it down. And then guess what? The market shifts and something else happens. Or, it's just not your strategy that's successful anymore. And then they get very upset. I understand that. I'm not making that wrong, but it's because they likely have begun to take themselves a little too seriously. And that is a danger for all of us. It can happen to all of us, right? I'm not saying it never happens to me. It does happen to me, but that's why I try to remember, oh, wait a minute, that isn't going to serve me, taking myself way too seriously, getting myself all caught up in, the minutia. It's going to make me ultimately, because I'm going to make a mistake, guys, right? Because you're human, unless it's an AI robot here on this call. Everybody's listening to me besides, the big brother who's listening and watching. You're all human beings. That means you're fallible. That means you're going to make mistakes. How about you resign yourself to that fact right now and be in less contraction and resistance to that fact? Work with it. Incorporate it into everything you do. Incorporate it into how you live your life with the concept, oh yeah, right, I am human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to see things, patterns, and as much as I've had screen time and as much as I've been at this game a long ass time, I'm still going to potentially want to see something that isn't there. And that's what I want you to get prepared for, because it allows you to potentially move much quicker. And that's the key. A book I'm reading, guys, which I want to show you because it's a book I haven't had a chance to put it out there on Twitter. I read this book a long time ago, or so I remember reading it, but there was, unless I didn't finish it, it's possible. But I remembered thinking to myself, when I started to listen to it again, I don't remember how this book ended. So maybe I didn't read it fully, or I stopped. But here it is. I think it'll show up. The Biggest Bluff. Did you guys read this? Maria Konnikova. The subtitle is... wait, I have to get the glasses out for that. Hold on. It's interesting. My distance vision is coming to me. And as it comes to me, the close-up vision. I've never had to have glasses, guys, before this last couple of months. How I learned to pay attention, master myself, and win. And this is her becoming a very successful poker player. She had Eric Seidel coach her and train her. So anyway, fabulous book. I think every trader should read it, even though it's about poker. It's about the mastering of self. And the way you master yourself, guys, starts with an acceptance of what is so. What is so? Your humanity. What is never going to change? You being human. What is never going to change? You're going to be making mistakes. So if you can bake that into the recipe now, then you get to set up a sense of being aware in a whole nother level. So, I don't know if you guys know this. It's funny. I know this because I don't cook and I don't bake. But I do know, maybe because there's a lot of elevation on this island. I live at 3,500 feet, which is not an elevation that reflects having to change a baking recipe. But in baking, I don't know if you know this, but recipes change based on altitude. So if people, I think it's a 7,000, if you're above 7,000 in altitude, your baking recipe will change a bit because it has to, keep in mind that you're at a higher altitude. So if you didn't make that change in your recipe, the cake you're baking isn't going to come out so good. So just think about that for yourselves, right? If you guys aren't baking into the recipe, the strategies, your risk management, the fact that you're human and not AI and that you're not a computer, then your cake, your P&L isn't going to come out the way you want it to, because you're not pre-planning ahead for the invariable mistake, the invariable blind spot, the invariable effect of you and your humanity interrupting what appears to be a seamless plan. So I'll get off my soapbox. All right, who has a question? Who wants coaching? And here's a question for all of you guys too. First, I want to thank my sponsor, Centerpoint, for sponsoring this live. I'm actually going to share a link, as I always do, to them. I have a special promotion for our listeners here. If you'd like to check them out, sent a few traders over there already, and they're very happy with the customer service. I'm telling you guys, is incredible. Their customer service is through the roof. They have an incredible team that are going to take excellent care of you. So I hope you'll check them out. And I want to just thank them again for sponsoring this YouTube Live. Here's my other question is, I'm thinking, if you guys remember, I had a trader event, which was like a phone number, voicemail, where you could call and just complain about the day or celebrate the day after your trading. And it didn't really seem to take off, which is fine. But I was thinking about taking that phone line or creating a new phone number and allowing traders to ask their questions or their coaching questions on it. And then I would play those questions during this time with my phone when I come on here. Here's the other thought I had. The other thought was that I do this on Tuesdays as well. So maybe a little closer to the market close, like 5, 6 o'clock. If I can pull it off, I'm 6 hours behind you guys. 5, 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock for 30 minutes on Tuesday and then 30 minutes on Thursday. So if you guys have an opinion about that, want to give me feedback, and then I'm thinking, I do speak coaching twice a week instead of once a week. So Tina, you're one of our steady regulars, so you tell me what you think about that. And then Mike, I don't know if you want any coaching today, if you want to come on, or Darian, let me know if you guys want to come on for some coaching, and I'll bring it into the room. Yeah. So give me some sense of how it's all going. Kind of curious. You guys have anything you want me to coach you on, just put that in the box. Good. So Mike, here is the link. I'm going to give it to you right now. Come on down, as Bob Barker used to say. I don't know if you guys knew that show called The Price is Right. Let's see here. I don't need help. I'm just trying to put that in the sequence. So give me a second, Mike. It's kind of frustrating. Let's see. Hopefully that worked. Can't seem to get rid of it. So let's see. So you just click on that, Mike, and then you should come into the room. I'm so glad you're going to come in, Mike. It's great. So what'll happen is the computer will bring this screen up, and then you'll be kind of in like a limbo, and then I'll approve your invitation, and then you'll be right here. So let me know. I'm not seeing like, so it's right here above your chat. It's not sent to your DMs, Mike. It's right here in the chat. Can you see the chat? I'm not sure if you can. So if you look at the chat box, which I'm not sure how that shows up on X, So if you can't, do you see that, Mike? I don't see one in chat, huh? All right, so Mike, are you in a position to hop over to YouTube? If you go to YouTube, you'll definitely see the chat because that is just. And Tina, when you came in last time, I think you came in via YouTube, right? Oh, you don't. You don't have that. Okay, so Mike, Mike, can you send me a DM in on Twitter, and then I'll go to my phone, and I'll go to my phone and try to get it over to you in the DMs. Sorry, it's not showing up on there. I thought it did, but that's so interesting to know that the chat doesn't show up on Twitter or X. Didn't Elon Musk put out a tweet recently saying, "Hey guys, should I turn X back over to Twitter?" And I thought everybody said yes, because we still have to use that when we're talking about things like this. All right, so, oh, you're in YouTube. Excellent. So here, Mike, I'm going to give you the link again. Do you see that link? It says studio.restream. Just click on that. Good job. Thanks, Tina. Yeah, click on that. Hopefully you see it now, Mike. And then I'll bring you in. I just put it in the chat again, the link that you have to click on. And Tina used it last time, so we know it does show up in YouTube. But I am sorry to hear that it doesn't show up on X. Oh, good. You're also in the DMs and Twitter, so I'm going to send it to you there too, just in case. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Yep, there you are. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Hi, Jeanette. How are you?
I'm so glad you're here. So just go to your microphone and click mic on its, I think, at the bottom on the left.
Are you able to hear me?
See that? It's under our two pictures.
Yeah, I clicked it.
Yeah.
Can you not hear
and
me?
You pressed, just press unmute, see if that works. I know it's tricky. Technical difficulties, as you well know, because you couldn't hear me. So even I struggle with it still. And I'm so
It shows.
You'll figure it out.
It shows that I am.
Sometimes you have to go to settings. I'm not sure if your screen looks the same as mine. Try settings sometimes. It seems to default to the computer you're on. It just depends. I know I struggle with it myself.
Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me now?
If you are still in the house, you have any tips or tricks?
Oh, they can hear me. Okay,
Mike.
Great.
Oh, that's
maybe
good
it's
to
your
know.
volume.
So they can hear you, Mike, but for whatever reason, I can't. So let me look on my end to see if I am doing anything wrong. Thank you so much, Daria, for letting me know that. So I can hear fine through YouTube. Okay. But I definitely need to hear you, Mike. So I don't know why I'm not hearing you. Let me just, I'm going to just try to do this again here. Let's see. Here, can you just talk again?
Hi, can you hear me now?
No, shoot. Dang it. What am I doing wrong? It just didn't happen the last couple of times. Mike, would you hate me if I ask you to try to come back in?
No, not at all. That's fine.
All right. So just hop out, come back in just in case. I don't know if that'll change anything. I hope it does. Let's give it a shot. Sorry for the trouble, guys. Can you guys hear me okay? So you guys can hear, but I can't hear. Huh. All right, let's see.
All right, can you hear me now?
Christmas. Nope. All right, let me just look quickly here at my audio. Okay, hold. I think I figured it out. Audio input. Audio output. Okay. Okay, I can hear you. Can you
check?
Yep. You know what? I had my Mike, reversed with the sound. So, Mike, how the hell are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm good.
Despite the technical
Such a pain in my neck. I hate technology.
But you're rolling with the punches.
I'm rolling with the punches. Trying to remember rule number 6. So, Mike, first question. This is on multiple platforms, so you're comfortable with that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. And you give me permission to coach you.
Absolutely. I welcome it.
Okay. So we're not going to be able to solve world peace right now. But one thing that you really would love to walk away with for your trading, what would that be?
Yeah, it's an emotional, psychological thing. Denise Schuhl refers to anticipation of future regret. And that comes through as either FOMO or fear of leaving money on the table. But it comes from the same place. You're imagining your future self going, shit, I can't believe I missed that or I held on to that. What's your advice for addressing anticipation of future regret?
So I think it's such a great term that Denise has come up with. It just makes everybody can relate to it. So this really helps at least us express that sense of what's happening. I think what the first thing I would want to say to you is that it is an indication that you aren't in reality, because reality is this moment, not the future moment. And that might sound like as if it's mean, but there's a great quote from a spiritual teacher of mine, Byron Katie, and she says there's 3 businesses each of us have. Our business, God or the universe's business, and none of our business. And basically, she also goes further to say most everything is none of our business. Maybe a little our business once in a while, but then mostly none of our business. So that would be the kind of first place I'd ask you, are you possibly in business that's not yours?
That's a great question, Kim Ann. I tend to spend a lot of time in my head. And I think there's a lot of us, traders or not, that can relate to spending more time in our head than outside, like in reality, so to speak.
Yes. Good way to
So
word it.
yeah, I think I definitely resonate with that.
And let's just talk a little bit about what the reasons are any of us might spend a lot of time in our head. It was an incredibly brilliant thing for us to do, most likely when we were kids. Because if we aren't necessarily in an environment that encourages and accepts our feelings, then if we have feelings and we don't get the experience of support around those feelings, then we're going to not only have feelings that might be hard to manage, but we're also going to feel very aware of how having these feelings seems to not be tended to. And if we have feelings that nobody tends to, or worse, makes us feel bad about or ashamed about, then it's possible we get taught a lesson of, I best not feel. I best numb myself from having any feelings.
I can also relate to that.
And then what would that cause anybody to do it would cause us to cut ourselves off from the feeling part of ourselves and go the one place, in a sense, we can't be touched.
I at the risk of turning this into a therapy session, um, I feel emotion very intensely. So I think as a defensive mechanism, right? I am
Totally.
up here.
Yes. Preparing for
Yeah.
the incoming that's going to come later.
Yeah.
And
I that's really, really insightful.
wouldn't that be really fucking smart of you?
Yeah.
Because if you know a missile is going to come and blow up in a week, you're going to fucking put in some reinforcements or at least have a good couple of 7 days.
Right? Have fun while you can.
Right? So that future sense of anticipating another shoe that's going to drop, which also is a big presumption because we don't, what could be that you have the best trade of your life. But the worst case scenario is likely what you are more used to preparing for.
You're right. I spend a lot more time thinking about that worst case than preparing for success.
And that makes a lot of sense when we're kids, the shit keeps hitting the fan.
Yeah.
And we can't maybe control the shit hitting the fan, but we can certainly get ourselves braced for incoming shit. And so it becomes a way of life. It becomes a habit. It becomes a default setting that at one point saved our ass, but now costs us.
Yeah. I can relate. Thank you for taking the time and the coaching. It's really, really helpful. I will pass it along to the next person, but thank you so much, Kim-Ann.
You're so welcome.
And I love what you're doing here. I really do.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. You rock.
Certainly.
Stay in touch. Okay. All right. So if anybody can relate to that, I'm trying to I was trying to figure out how to close him out so he could hang up if he wanted to. Thanks, Mike, for coming on. I think what Mike spoke to, I'm going to just elaborate a little bit more. Good. I'm so glad that you guys could hear that. And thanks, Darius, so much for the heads up. I just had the microphones reversed. So let's just like review. And again, if anybody else wants to come into the studio and get some live coaching, just raise your hand. That restream, I'll put the restream here again if you guys need it. If you guys are listening on Twitter, Mike said he couldn't see the link on Twitter. So either send me a DM and tell me in the chat here that you're wanting the link, and I'll DM it over to you on X. Oh, Mike, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you brought it up because I think there's so many people who are affected by that, me included, as just navigating my own journey. And ultimately, what the rest of what I would say to you, Mike, if you want the rest of my input, is just this is anytime we're about to try to change something, a habit or behavior that we've had for a long time, we have to imagine ourselves like, a huge ship on the ocean, right? I paddle in and out with your canoe, and we often are out when the barge comes in. We're an island in the Pacific. So how do we get our supplies? They all come in on a freaking barge. It's crazy. And that barge, likely the barge is coming from Oahu, which is, multiple islands over. It's a multi-island archipelago, and the big island is at the bottom. So Oahu's, a plane ride away from us. But that ship, right before it comes into where the docking station is, the harbor where I paddle out of, that tugboat, before that ship is come that whole way from Oahu slowly, if you guys have ever seen a barge, they're not moving fast, right? They got piles of what do you call it, containers, like 100 containers on this thing. So this thing is coming in really slow, and then what do you got? You got the tugboat pulling it in. That tugboat, it looks so small, but that tugboat is pulling this huge ship in now, because now it's too close to shore. It can't, instantly pivot on a dime. I want you guys to think of yourselves as that big, huge ship. You can't pivot on a dime. You are going to have to move that ship, slowly into a new direction. So please keep that in mind. So if we elaborate on this conversation that Mike generously brought to the conversation, what I would suggest, if anybody could relate to that, which I'm sure more people can than not, is that we don't want to make the mind wrong. We don't want to make this place that, in a sense, we have found security in bad or wrong, but it isn't the full expression of ourselves. And what happens is we need to learn how to integrate not just the thinking part of ourselves, but the feeling part of ourselves. And I know that for some traders hearing this, you're going to be like, that's heresy, Kim. I can't listen to my feelings. I can't listen to my emotions. It has me led astray. No, it doesn't. It is because you're disconnected from your emotions that you're led astray. It's because you see the emotions as your enemy that you were led astray. It's because you haven't created an alliance and a harmony with your emotions. It's not because your emotions, guys, are the enemy. It's because you are coming from a place of denying that you have them, and those emotions have to discharge. So guess where they go? Underground. They go invisible, but they're still there, guys. They are still operating up and out of you. And that's when it feels like you're out of control, because you have ignored them for so long, like a little kid, 2-year-olds, they will not be ignored. They are going to keep screaming, even if it's quietly. That's why, if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever babysat for a 2-year-old, I have. If they go quiet, I get a little worried, because it means something is amiss. Something is going down. It may not be loud, but there is going to be crayon on some, refrigerator door or wall, if you're unlucky, that is like, holy crap, how did that happen? It happens because if anything is shut down too long, even like a volcano. You saw that hill explosion in Yellowstone Park, right? It's going to come forward. So the question is it going to come out in a way that's costly, or can it come out in a way that's less costly? And I'm advocating go for the less costly way, guys. All right. That's why I tell new traders you can't learn trading from paper trading. You can learn how to read price action, but not how to trade. I would agree with you, Michael, 100%. And there's a time and a place for a sim. I'm not, I'm 100% in agreement with you that all of the emotions get kicked up sometimes a lot quicker when you're really trading. But especially if you're proving strategy to yourself, you want to see if your strategy really works. I do think there's a time and a place for some. I think it's not a carte blanche answer, but the emotional volatility that you're going to have in real trading is going to be radically different. But I also have found, and Mike, I'm curious if you have seen this too, with beginner traders, even in simulation, they could have a bunch of their buttons pushed. And I sometimes feel get those buttons pushed before it is your real P&L, because even if it's happening in sim, then you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to happen in real trading. It's going to be even more heightened. So if you go into sim and you find you're being triggered, fabulous. You've just saved yourself from having a cost in your true account, and go be with that, go navigate it. And, I know you're kind of kidding, Mike, with the concept of like, before this turns into a therapy session, but at the end of the day, these conversations, whether it's coaching or therapy, all they are is self-awareness, right? All of us, there is nobody who's 6 feet above ground who couldn't probably use to become more self-aware, me included. All of us, if we're here, if we're still alive, we got something to learn, right? Everybody walking the planet, I don't care how much of a genius they are, if they're 6 feet above ground, I would bet the farm they got something to learn. So I just see coaching, therapy, any personal development, any kind of journey that you're on, whether you're in the woods trying to see if you can walk the Appalachian Trail or you're trying to make it at a prop firm, you're still on a journey. You probably have something to learn. And keeping that sense of humility in check is pretty important. So you can find your way towards new aha moments. I think the culture has a tendency to make people feel like they got to know it all. And that is very debilitating. And if you think about children, the reason they learn, they say so quickly, is because if they don't know something, they don't have any shame about it. If they're in a good, healthy environment, they're not made wrong for not knowing things. When they make a mistake, they learn from it. And that's ultimately what traders need to be like. You need to kind of be like those innocent kids who aren't collapsing their identity with their mistakes, because they just like, what are you talking about? Like, if only we could retain that, we would be so much better. So anyway, if we go back to the issue brought forward with Mike's, being willing to come on this conversation, the key here is to first start with this concept of, oh, okay, maybe I have cut myself off a long time ago from my feelings. I must have had a good reason. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. I have no doubt there's a good reason that you did that. And I want you to start to ask yourself, okay, if that's true, if that's what's happened, I have learned how to cut myself off from my feelings, then what would it look like if I begin to let some of those feelings be felt? Now, when you might be like, can't do that in the middle of my trading day. Fine. Don't do it during your trading day. Do it in all the hours of the day that you're not trading, right? I'm not telling you have to do it in the middle of a high stakes, situation. Start where it's simple. Start when you sit at your desk before you trade, before the computer comes on. Just sit there. What is it going to take you guys? 20 seconds? Sit there for 20 seconds and be like, how do I feel? And maybe you don't even know. And that's why I want you to sign up for my needs list. My needs list is Marsha Rosenberg's needs list. But here, let me give that to you guys. This list is going to help the people who have all cut themselves off from their feelings, because sometimes it's really hard for people to even know, what the hell am I feeling? I'm so numb. I've been so disconnected for so long. Kim, I don't even know what I'm feeling. I don't even know what it feels like to feel. So there's the link if you want the universal needs list. All right. Mike says, that's a great point. I feel like FinTwit is double-edged sword. It's great source of info, but it puts undue pressure on new and old traders to be right. Yes. And Mike, I'm going to say, actually, it doesn't put the pressure. You put the pressure. Anybody who's on there, it's our relationship to ourselves that X or Twitter or the markets forces everybody to be with. It isn't X that's putting the pressure. And I get it. I get what you're saying. There's a culture there. Obviously, people, what they're sharing is all their wins, all their successes, right? They're not showing you the shit hit the fan. There's like, look how great I was. Look how smart I was. However, remember, and I put this quote up the other day. This is such a good one. Who was it? I don't know if you guys, how close you watch my X feed, but oh my God, it was so good. I have to find it. Hold on. Let's see here. It was such a good quote, Mike. I think you'll like this. It's not the market social peers. It's you. Absolutely. But in a playful way, right? There's a lot of ways that phrase could be said. And I can promise you right now, Mike, your inner critic wants to make you feel lousy about that. Don't let it win. Be playful. Be playful. Be like, it's me. Oh my God, it's me. What the hell? Like, have fun and laugh at yourself. Remember rule number 6. All right, here's that quote I wanted to say from the other day. Hold on here. Let's see. Where is it? It was so good. I don't even remember who the hell said it. Was it Bruce Lee? Hold on. Hold on. I got to find it. It's so good. Oh, okay. Hold on, hold on. I thought I had it, but it was another one that was really good, but I don't want to read that one right now. Come on. Where the hell is it? I put it up late at night. I read it. Oh, okay. Here it is. You ready? This is so good, guys. Oh, it's Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti, he was a philosopher. He was alive around the time Joseph Campbell was. And he has a lot of booklets, very short booklets, lots of powerful quotes out there. But this is his quote. You ready for this one, Mike? It's so good. And every trader listening, whoever gets overwhelmed or feels shitty about themselves after they watch, all the guys telling you how great they are, the women, there's not that many women braggarts out there. Just saying. But here it is. The greater the outward show, the greater the inward poverty. I'll say it again. The greater the outward show, the greater the inward poverty. So, what does that mean? It means that if somebody around you, or maybe even a politician, never mind a famous trader, is constantly telling you how great they are, that likely is an indication that internally they may not feel so great, right? And that, when you think about it, is sad. That, when you think about it, is kind of heartbreaking. And it doesn't mean they aren't good, but there is a part of themselves that doesn't know it yet. So keep that in mind, guys. When you see people bragging about themselves, that is them showing you that they possibly aren't really quite sure yet of their own value. So they're just hoping to God that maybe somebody will reflect that back to them. And I'm not even going to make, any of that wrong, because we are each in need of a reflection back to us. We all need community. We need connection. We can't always fill our own cup. Rarely. We need others, community, connection, friends, supporters, lovers, family that we choose. That is a call and a response. Why is solitary confinement the cruelest thing done to prisoners? Because taking them away from other people is, we can't survive without other people. I'm not saying we can't, but it's mentally draining. So keep that in mind, guys, that we need connection. So when you see somebody just telling you what they do well, keep that quote in mind. Thank you, Tina, for typing it in, right? That's telling you, okay, they might have a fucking killer bank account, but maybe they still feel lonely and alone and not worthy of even the success they have. Having worked with billionaires, guys, I can tell you, it isn't the bank account that keeps people feeling a sense of peace. It's an internal state that's a lot of people don't have, even though on paper or in front of the world, they look like they've got it all. If I reference back frequently to, what's the Michael Jordan documentary, guys, that was on Netflix? Was it Netflix? I don't know where it was. What's that Michael Jordan documentary? Come on, guys. Where are my basketball fans here? That was the name of that documentary. The Last Dance. The Last Dance. Did you guys see The Last Dance? If you haven't, I strongly recommend it. I just want one person here to tell me, did Michael Jordan in that docuseries, does he look happy? Does he look peaceful? Does he look like he's like sitting back and enjoying all the work and all the fame he has? I don't see a happy man. It's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. You look into his eyes the whole time. I kept looking, please let there be a spark of some of that. None. I didn't see any. That makes me sad. Think about how hard that man worked, how much he gave, how much he poured himself into that, how famous he is, how everybody reveres him. And yet, I don't see evidence that it's sunk in or that he feels equanimity or joy. So we've got to all ask ourselves, if this is an internal job, if all the money, fame, success doesn't give me that sense of value and worthiness, maybe I'm going to have to approach that differently. And that's all that I hope it reflects back to you, because you guys can make all the money. You can get the cars and the jets and the penthouses and the gorgeous model or the gorgeous, famous sport guy, and still be empty if you don't get your basic needs met. And that you can only be the one who becomes the steward of that. I'm glad you like Joseph Campbell, Michael. That man changed my life, and his practice is practice 4. So bringing me back full circle, one of the things I'm going to do each week now, guys, is give you a link for you to sign up for a PDF. Every time I do these lives, and depending on when you guys sign up for it, you'll get into a sequence so that over the course of 4 weeks, you guys will get a PDF. So today's practice at the start of this conversation was emotional non-resistance. Next time I come on, I will be talking about Joseph Campbell's Embracing Your Hero's Journey, Michael. And another thing on the Joe Campbell note, guys, and this is part of what Joe Campbell's teachings are all about. Joseph Campbell wrote a lot of books, but one of his books is called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And in that book, basically what happened is during the Depression, he was born in New York City, and during the Depression, he'd come out of college, couldn't get work. And lucky for him, he wasn't in a position where he had to work. And his parents had like a little cabin upstate New York someplace. So he just went into this cabin for like 2 years. And because he was just already like fascinated with American Indian culture, he just spent 2 years basically reading about all the different world's religions. He was reading about Arthurian legends, fairy tales, all the stories, right, from East and Western cultures, all the world's religions, all the different, messiahs like Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad. He just absorbed it all. And what he began to track was that they all followed the same pattern. He was fascinated by that. He was like, wait a minute, Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, Arthurian legends, fairy tales, like they're all following the exact same pattern. And in fact, here, I'm just going to grab, even though this is next week's topic, I'm still talking about it now, guys, because that's just how I roll during these things. All right, so this, and if you want this, let me know. So this is the hero's journey pattern. This is Joe Campbell's work. Now, basically, where does this hero's journey? And if you think even you like Harry Potter, right? You like Neo in The Matrix. You watched Game of Thrones. Like this applies to every popular story out there. It doesn't matter. Star Wars, this is where, by the way, it was The Hero with a Thousand Faces that Joseph Campbell wrote, that George Lucas read and took The Hero with a Thousand Faces and created Star Wars. That's where it came from, folks. Joseph Campbell. So anyway, this pattern, right, which starts over here, which is the separation departure. That's the call of the adventure. For you traders, that's when something starts to whisper to you, hey, maybe I'm going to trade. That was the call to the adventure. And there could be traders or potential traders listening to us right now who are thinking, I hear the call, but I'm afraid. I'm scared. Good, you should be. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't take the call. All right. And then after that happens, I'm going to do the Cliff Note version. Then we go to the descent. And that could be where a lot of you guys are now. And P.S., this adventure doesn't just happen once, guys. It happens multiple times, over and over. It can happen multiple times in a day, multiple times in an hour, for God's sake. So think about it. What happens to you guys? Yes, Alex, great, the nature of mind. I'm so glad there's so many different people who talk about this journey, but I think it makes a huge difference because if you have a sense of your trading history, your trading experience, if you know where you are on this map, guys, you can prepare for the next thing that's coming. So this is the standard version. And then, of course, I made this version, which I call the Trader's Hero Journey. And I've identified what I feel like these are Joseph Campbell's titles, but then I have added on what I feel are the challenges trader will bump into, right? It's a standard experience, but what's the trader's version of the descent? What's the trader's version of the initiation every trader has to go through? What's the trader's version of the return, right? I think these things are important. If you guys want that, I think I have a link to that. Let's go to the video tape and see if I do. Trader, do I have that here? I have to get that up someplace if I don't. But, oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda, my team keeps me in check. I don't know what I'd do without you, Amanda, you amazing woman, you. All right, there it is, guys. You want to get the Trader Hero Journey map, you go there and sign up for it. So that is next week. Of course, I talked a lot about it today, but I haven't heard from you, Tina, unless I missed it. And I'm asking Tina because she's, she's the first fan. She's like fan 001. The first gal who's come in here. She was the first one who came in and got some coaching with me and Ricky. And if you guys haven't watched the Ricky Analog episode, oh, you got to watch it. It's so good. I mean, Ricky and I, they're still on my Instagram page. Ricky and I used to do for True Trader. What did we call it? Gosh, Ricky, I can't remember. What did we call it on Instagram? It was so good. Ricky and I did it like once a week. I'm just looking quickly on Instagram to see what it's called. It was called Method and Mindset. Oh, so good. We had such a good time. Anyway, Ricky saw that I was live. Was it last week, the week before, whatever, 3 weeks ago. And he came on unexpectedly and we did the first coaching session live with Tina. So it was good to have him. Of course, he's focused on the technicals. I focus on the mindset stuff. And then if you guys, okay, so that's in YouTube. You should totally watch that because, oh my God, there's just so many good gems that come out of Ricky's mouth. And then I think it was the following week, surprise, Jason Shapiro showed up. That was a surprise too. He saw it on X and came into the conversation. And guys, let me say this. He is a veteran. That man knows what he's doing. He's in Jack Schwager's Unknown Market Wizard books, for the love of God. And you know what he talked about that day? How challenging he had for the last couple of months. Like, this is why it's so important. Like, he is an example, guys, as is Ricky. There's so many that do not just tell you how great it is. They will be comfortable being vulnerable. They will be comfortable saying it was really rough this last month or whatever their journey is. Look for those guys. Listen to those guys, because the ones that never really let you see their humanity, not maybe they don't. Maybe they are superhuman. I don't know. But I just want you guys to consider the fact that they mostly will probably make you feel like you're the odd duck. And I want you to know you're not the odd duck. Of course you're human. Of course everybody's human. All right. So good. I'm glad. I have never considered trading as a mindful and spiritual practice. Hell yeah, it is, Mike. It is the most powerful school of enlightenment out there. It is going to force you to be with all the shadow side of yourself that you really don't want to look at. I think it is like your personal Yoda. Um, One of my favorite lines from the Star Wars series is when Dina says, I've been transitioning more towards the mid and large caps while still watching the small caps, and studying trading psychology has proven to be less anxious, stressful. Along with, there's a part two coming. Tina, good job, you. I'm so proud of you. What we talked about. Tina and I did a session last week. A better win rate profit sister. I like the drum roll you gave me before you posted a better win rate. Let's all applaud. Let's give applause to Tina. This is huge, Tina. I'm so happy for you. So proud of you. And I bet you're happier. I mean, not just happier with better win rate and profits, but just overall, you're probably more calm and relaxed, right? Less stress. It's so good. See, this is the concept that we're talking about. Like, what if it were easy, guys? Easier. Not easy, but easier. Like, does it have to be so hard? Like, is it possible your inner critics, inner gremlins are making it harder because you have some old programming you haven't gotten rid of yet? You got to shave that stuff off. You want to see my new favorite book? I always have books. You know me. I read. But this my good friend Jamie gave to me. Are you guys ready? It's so fucking funny. Here's my new favorite book. What does it say? Fuck that. An honest meditation. Look, it's really small. And here's the back. Let this book help you find peace with the challenges surround you, because they are fucking everywhere. This is going to be like my Christmas book of the year that I'm going to give as a gift. And my friend Jamie gave it to me. It's from Jason Headley. It's so good, guys. It's just like, here's like just one example. Let's try it now. Picture a thing that makes you want to choke a motherfucker. That's what it says. And then it says, now feel yourself release that thing as you turn the page. Just like that. There's no strife there. There's the picture. Only a clear, calm place. It's a great book. It's just perfect for anybody who forgets rule number 6. And I forget it 100 times a day, Mike. So you need it. I need it. We all freaking need this book. So go buy this book, everybody. It will make your day a lot better. You cannot read this book and keep taking yourself seriously, because you'll be laughing too hard. It's just that much fun. And that's what you guys want to have, right? You want to have fun, don't you? For God Almighty's sake, you want to have a little fun. So go get this book and make your day better. All right, I got to shut it down. So what else? Do we have anything else? So Tina, what's your answer? What do you think about this? Me doing me, because Tuesday, 30 minutes, Tuesday, Thursday, 30 minutes instead of an hour on Thursday. Everybody can weigh in, but I want your answer most of all, Tina. What do you think? Think I should do that? And if I do it on Tuesday, I'm going to try to do it closer to market close. So, yeah, let me think. Let me know what you would think. I don't know if I could pull it off for next week, guys, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I do this for 30 minutes on Tuesday and then 30 minutes on Thursday, so I can just, get a little sequencing here. And also, guys, think about, coming in for coaching. Like, I want you to really take advantage of this. Like, we got 111 people here in the room, and Mike is the only one. Okay, you rock, Tina. Thank you. But Mike is the only one who came in today for coaching. And I didn't see anybody put questions in the chat box for things they wanted coaching on. And that's part of what this is all about too. So, all right, I'm going to close her up. And I'm going to say thank you to Centerpoint for sponsoring this live coaching. If you guys like it, come back. I do this almost every Thursday at about this time. Today was 7:45 Eastern. Sometimes it's 8:15 Eastern. thereabouts. And I'm going to potentially think about adding another day. If anybody has an opinion or thoughts about that, send me a DM on X. What else did I want to say? Sign up. I'll put this link again. Please sign up if you want, the PDF that sequences today's practice. These 5 practices are the practices that, the Wall Street 50 all had in common. And they are the 5 practices that have helped me navigate all the crap I had to untangle myself through. And they're also the 5 practices that I see work for my clients. I've been coaching 18 years, guys. I've worked with a lot of people, and I can tell you these 5 practices have not ever let anybody down. They are game changing. They are game changing for me, and I know they can be game changing for you. Okay, Rody, thank you for being here. You can't see the link. I cannot believe the links don't show on X. That is so frustrating. Rudy, Rody or Rudy, I'm not sure I'm not pronouncing it right. I am sorry that it's not showing there. Dang it. So let's see. Can I go to Twitter and just put the link? Let me try to do that. Maybe that's what I have to do. Dang it. Come on, Elon. Elon, you got to fix this. You got to fix this so people don't have to do that. All right, Rody, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put all these links one at a time into X under this. All right, let me get this straight here. What if I save? So first here, Rody, I'm going to put that in the PDF of this conversations practice today. You know what? It's not letting me. Let me get off the call. Once I get off the call, Rody, look in the live coaching that's on X. I'm going to do a comment, a reply to it. I'll do a bunch of replies with all the links. Does that work for you? That's where they'll be. I don't know why it's not letting you see it there, but Mike also couldn't see the link when he was trying to watch from X. So that will be my backup solution. I'll take all the links that I shared here today on YouTube. You can also, if you ever want, Rudy, you can go to YouTube and you're going to see all the chat live. But I will take all the links I shared today on the chat channel and move them all over and reply to myself. And then you can just look at that and hopefully use them. All right. So at a minimum, I'll be here next Thursday around this time, 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:15, somewhere in there based on the day and clients that I have. And I'm 6 hours behind you guys. That's why I can do this, because it's only 2:52 for me. And then please think about it for those who are here today. If you want to get some live coaching, put your head in the, hat in the ring now and come ready to go. Because as soon as I share that link, the quicker you come into the room, the more people I can do. I'm happy to do a bunch of people back to back to back. But, sometimes right now, it's like it takes me a while to get somebody to go, oh, wait, I want to do that, right? So if you guys want live coaching for yourself, come right to the call on time, take the link and hop into the room and we get down to business. All right. Interesting. I can't see Rudy's chat on YouTube. Really? What the heck, Mike? Thank you so much for noticing that. So that is so weird. All right. I have to troubleshoot this, guys. Restream is a little tricky. That's what this platform I'm using is. It's supposed to, take all of these platforms and sync them, but obviously it's not working. So thank you for telling me that. So Rody, I don't know if you heard that, if you're still here, but Mike just went on YouTube chat and he doesn't see your comments. So that's so interesting. God, I see them on Restream, but that's kind of weird. All right. I think you guys are amazing. Please be good to yourselves. If you notice that you're too much in your head, what are you going to do? You're going to use that needs list that I've given you, the feelings list, and start to pay attention to how you feel, right? First, you have to notice that you maybe are a little disconnected from your feelings. The first step is just noticing, oh, wow, yeah, I'm kind of numb. I'm kind of disconnected from how I feel. So just start slow. Just start to pay attention. How do I feel now? Oh, I feel numb. All right. Maybe you sit with it for a few minutes and another feeling starts to expand. I kind of think of feelings as like kids in the middle of hide go seek, right? What would happen when we played hide go seek as a kid? I don't know if you ever played hide and seek when you were a kid, but we did. And you were kind of like, did they count 20 yet? Like, you kind of want to come out of your space to see, are they looking for me yet? Are they going to the other direction? Did they find Joe, or are they coming after me? Right. So I feel like that's how feelings are when we've cut them off for so long. I kind of feel like what happens is that when we start to indicate that we're going to pay attention to them again, that we're ready to feel them, that we're actually prepared and ready to consider them, I kind of feel like they kind of look out like, wait, does she mean that? Wait, is she kidding me? Is she going to really give us the time of day? She must not be serious, right? I kind of feel like they kind of look like, do you mean this? Because if we do mean it and they start to see that we aren't going to let go of it, that's when I feel they start to reveal themselves. And I can't help but put another pitch forward for Inside Out. If you guys haven't seen Inside Out 1 and Inside Out 2, go see it, right? Riley is the heroine of that movie. And what happens in Inside Out 2, she literally shows what happens. She tries to put all her feelings into a jar and locks the lid, right? That's a lot of us. So go see that movie. It's a Pixar film, but it speaks volumes for what I see every day talking to traders, guys. So get ahead of that and bring your kids along so they don't repeat the pattern. Okay. All right. Be safe out there. And remember, what's the mantra today? That's right, people. Where is it? Here it is. Fuck that. It's hard to do backwards. All right. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for sticking around. And thank you, Mike, for coming into the room. It was a pleasure to get to know you. And I look forward to next week. All right. Aloha.